Hey YouTube, welcome to another video from Skinny Medic. Gage is here again. You guys really enjoyed that first video, so we want to shoot another one. This one's going to be about how important it is to learn CPR. You recently just got CPR certified, what, a year or so ago?
No, more like 2.5 years ago. It's been a while.
Okay.
So I think, but I got recertified actually a few months ago.
Okay, so it's for a 2-year certification, so yeah, 2.5 years ago then. Have you done CPR yet?
I've not done CPR on anybody yet, but I've done it a lot on dummies. We do it about once a month at my work, so.
Have you done mouth to mouth?
Not done mouth to mouth.
That's what Allie's.
Nope.
See, you've got to bust you on camera.
I keep a CPR mask in my hip pack.
Okay, what kind do you keep? Do you keep like this, which one?
So, I have both. I was using one of these at one point, and now I have a smaller, like softer pack.
Okay.
And I have an adult and child size in it.
Okay. Awesome. So CPR has really went to hands-only CPR, especially for the layperson, chest compressions only. But there are two instances when you want to do mouth-to-mouth or mouth-to-mask. Mouth-to-mouth is gross because people vomit when they're in cardiac arrest and all that food contents, the beer, pizza, whatever else comes up. So mouth-to-mouth is gross. But mouth-to-mask is still an option really for two reasons, and that's for a choking and for a drowning. Because those would involve respiratory system. So that's when you really would want to do mouth-to-mouth, or mouth-to-mask, sorry. There's really is two types, kind of what we're talking about here. You could use a bag valve mask, which is more for like a first responder, that kind of nature. It has a mask goes over the patient, you squeeze the BVM just enough to get chest rise and fall. But then if you wanted to put something in your first aid kit for this, this is like a plastic shield that goes over their face, and this is like an actual hard mask. So you said you've done CPR on the mannequins. And these are okay. These little shields, like you're just going to put them in a backpack, something like that.
Throw them in a glove box.
Yeah, put them in a glove box. Perfect. But these are a little bit better, I feel like, because you can create an EC clamp. We talked about that. And when you give your breath, you want just enough chest rise and fall. And if there is vomit, this is going to do a little better job protecting you.
Okay.
And then, like you said, we talked about it before off camera in that first video, is learning to do CPR is not like a mannequin. You talk about breaking ribs.
So I was talking about how I want to practice on a mannequin that simulates like the breaking ribs, because you need to put enough pressure where you can feel the ribs breaking. And I worry that if I had to do CPR, hopefully I don't have to, but if I did, that I would freak out feeling like the ribs crushing beneath my hands.
So here's a confession. After 20 some odd years of EMS, 23, 24, I think about 24 years EMS roughly, I hate doing the first compression because typically what we are doing chest compression on is elderly patients. So they have osteoarthritis and their bones are brittle anyway. So that first compression, when you hit it 2 inches deep, there is a good chance you do fracture ribs. So that first break, like I do, I hate it. Now, if you've got like a 30, 40-year-old, you may not necessarily break ribs. And then with babies, you may not break ribs because their bones are still pliable. But in those elderly patients, when they get 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, you may break ribs. So that first compression, you go 2 inches in depth, you're doing good chest recoil, you're singing Baby Shark, all those good stuff to get that 110 beats a minute. You may very well break ribs. But typically then once we see it, now like the chest kind of gets caved in and like the hand placement gets there and you just know where it's at.
What about the machines that do CPR?
So they do make a couple different machines. You have Lucas, which is, and then the one made by Zoll. So the Lucas is like a pump, it's a cylinder, actually has a suction to the chest. And then Zoll makes one, it's a rubber band, kind of similar, that squeezes and does it. They both do the same thing. They're super expensive. They're between $15,000 and $20,000. Please don't quote me on that price. Don't get grumpy with me, but they're expensive. But the good thing is once you get them on, if you get proficient with it, then you can set the rate and you know exactly, like you're getting 110, 112 compressions a minute. And that does take a rescuer out of the scenario as well. Like for us in some of our areas where we have EMS is you may get volunteers to come out. So maybe we're limited on how many people we can put on a cardiac arrest. So if you have that machine, then that's one person, probably two people, honestly, because we do like, we have a patient, we put one rescuer over here and then we put another rescuer on this side. So when this guy's doing CPR, this one's resting. And then this guy takes over CPR, this guy rests. So go back and forth kind of like that. So that machine would take those rescuers and let them do something else. So, but they do the exact depth every single time. If you program to do 110, 112 compressions a minute, they do 112 compressions a minute until their battery dies, which is hours. So it's a good thing if your system can afford it.
When I was taught CPR, we do it a little bit differently. We have two people. Hopefully, sometimes it doesn't always work that way. When we're trained, we do two people. One is on chest compressions, one is on doing breaths. So we'll do make sure we're counting out loud so the other person can hear, and we will do chest compressions till we get tired. And when we get tired, we will say switch, and I think in place of 30. I'm not exactly sure where it's supposed to be in place, but it'll be in place of 30. And after that, they switch to you're doing breaths now, and the other person doing chest compressions instead of just you're doing both, one person's opposite side, then you switch and you're doing nothing.
Yeah, and technically you're right. You're supposed to do 30 and 2. So you do 30 chest compressions, and that person at the head gives 2 rescue breaths. Especially in your situation as a lifeguard, we know that we probably need to give some respiratory, but yeah, that 32 swap back and forth, and at 2 minutes you should swap. So when you get to your 2-minute cycle, swap and you move over, but that needs to be timed because you don't want to spend less than 10 seconds off the chest. So you literally, when you come off the chest, you start moving around and moving, you got to start counting to 10. So you don't want longer than 10 seconds break. So you're not wrong, but having that at the head and here, but once you got that third rescuer, I would definitely move them to that side. And that way we have this triangle is what we try to keep. Everybody stays in a triangle. And we laugh, like we keep paramedics out of the triangle because paramedics just screw stuff up. But keep your responders in that triangle and then rotate back and forth. So not wrong, but just once that third rescuer rolls around, I would put them to the side.
Okay.
Awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. I would encourage you to go take a CPR class. You're talking about just a couple hours out of your day, your life on a Saturday or a weekend night to go learn a CPR class. They're fairly reasonably priced for the most part. So go learn CPR. You can absolutely save someone's life by knowing CPR, how to stop someone from choking and things like that. And if you have the training and you're looking for the gear, we have the mask in stock. We have the BVMs in stock as well. We have adult, child, and infant BVMs if you're looking for those as well at medicalgearoutfitters.com. We appreciate the support. Thank you guys for watching. You never know when you'll be the first responder. Remember the right gear and the right training.